Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to Videoland Express. I'm your host, Frankie, son.
I'm Mark.
And we have a lot to talk about here. First of all, we're starting a brand new season. 27 years. I don't know how we got here, but we did. And first of all, right in the middle of a movie production, we signed a contract. I can't talk about it. But in the meantime, I can say hello to my fellow background actors. First of all, let me get my little sheet here. John Arturo, and he used to be a fellow producer on M&N with a project called Waveform. And we hanged out for about 4 days. So that was pretty cool. Met a new friend, Adelina. Hi. And, of course, Tora, who I met. I keep saying Tora, as my little goof there. But Tora. Or Tara, should I say. I always get that wrong. And, of course, Walter's been there for the longest. And all the fellow background actors, they heard about the show, and they said they're all going to tune in tonight. Well, we're here. Okay. Tonight we're going to be talking about box office in Star Wars, the Golden Globes, and a couple other tidbits in between. What's going to happen with the Oscars, and a lot of little tidbits and trivia, and a lot of information in between. You know what the website is? Just go to Google, type in videolandexpress.com. That will take you to the blog. The blog will take you to the website. The blog also has my daily blog, which only did once this week because we had a long schedule. We have 15-hour days, so I really couldn't put up a blog. I put one up on last Sunday, and I'm going to put up one this weekend before Monday because there's going to be another project going on. But anyway, on the blog, you will also find the link to a website. The show is being recorded for YouTube, which will be recorded now, and it's going to be posted on Monday. It's been recorded on CD. Anyway, and then also Blog Talk Radio. I did a show there. I have a lot of little trivia and tidbits. Whatever doesn't fit on this show gets put on radio blog. Blog Talk Radio. And then, of course, SoundCloud. Where's the music? It's coming soon, folks. First, we got to get this out of the way. Anyway, so that's basically the announcements and everything. Let's start with the box office, shall we? Do you have any movie reviews for this show?
No, I didn't see anything. All I saw was what they had out there. I think Underworld is out. If there's Underworld fans out there. Still any Underworld fans out there?
I can say we got a first picture for the year. That's on my top 10 worst films of all time. Underworld. A big fat total 0.
Whoa.
I can say nothing good about the film. Badly edited, badly directed, badly acted, badly scripted, bad everything. The whole film is stuck with this bluish tint. And the editing and the cinematography is all over the place. Don't blink. Yeah, don't blink because you don't know what's going on. And the Wolves lose the battle at the end. Everybody goes home. Boring story. Yeah. If you're an Underworld fan, if you like the first movie and you put it with the rest of the sequels, you might put up with this one. I didn't think much of the whole franchise to begin with. Wolves fighting vampires, kind of.
Wolves and fighting vampires and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like Batman versus Superman. Superman go bing, you know. But anyway, yeah, Underworld is like the worst picture of the year so far. Isn't that? We just started already. There's one that made the best worst film of the year.
Yeah, this is a pretty ingenious concept taken from, I think, Abbott and Costello when they had Abbott and Costello meet, what is it, Frankenstein, Dracula, and the Wolfman.
Right.
And then that's where the Wolfman fights Dracula.
See, at least that was a comedy.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
That was brilliant. Watch that.
Yeah, watch that instead. I mean, that's a total classic. Of course, you heard about Monster Universal Pictures. They're going to remake The Mummy with Tom Cruise.
Oh, my.
Yeah. Johnny Depp as Jekyll and Hyde. No, the Invisible Man. Excuse me. Johnny Depp is doing Invisible Man. Russell Crowe is doing Jekyll and Hyde.
Wow.
Yeah. They're redoing the as another franchise. But anyway, Underworld, total fat 0. Can't say nothing good about it. But what else?
You know, like these Assassin's Creed?
I think I reviewed that in another one that gets 1 out of 5. You know, it plays like the video game, but they added a subplot that has nothing to do with the video game.
Yeah, I pretty much saw the previews. It's pretty much telling. If you see the previews, you have enough knowledge of what's going on. Like I said, Otherworld, you could just. I tapped out of the series. I think after the second one, I tapped out. And there's like 4 or 5 altogether. So I tapped out of number 2, and that's how it is. We have these series of sequel films. At one point or another, you give up. At one point or another, you said they're not putting any more dedication to these scripts. They're not hiring good writers. It just becomes a money grab.
Well, they were trying to start off a franchise for Assassin's Creed, and that kind of tanked. If you saw the commercial, you saw the movie. It plays like the video game, but they had a subplot that was not completely not necessary for the film. But anyway,
That's why I have my fingers crossed for Resident Evil. I'm hoping that comes out really well.
I got fed up. I dropped that after the second one. That's another one that should have been canceled. I know that one is going to make my top 10 worst also.
It's sort of like these other sequel films. I mean, you either like it or you don't. Sort of like Harry Potter. You know, it's sort of like Star Trek. Either you like it or you don't.
Well,
you watch them all or you tap out.
It's funny. Fantastic Beasts actually tanked, believe it or not. They spent so much money marketing and producing it that it only made 500, 600 million.
Wow.
But they spent a lot more than people are talking about. Okay, the studio is kind of like they're pushing, hushing aside, and over here only made 200 million. So, and the people say, well, you know, but that basically that covers the advertising marketing cost, believe it or not. But anyway, another one that came out, The Great Wall, Matt Damon. I finally saw that.
It came out.
It was a limited release. I got a promo copy and great high def digital copy and all that. And I can say it started off great. Basically, him and his friend, they say, "You soldiers? No, you know, we're just traders and stuff like that." Mm-hmm. I was in one of those so-called beasts or dragons comes walking over the wall, climbs over the wall, should I say? And of course, they show the skills, they attack it, and then you get to find out the whole clan and everything like that, the philosophy and everything like that. If you go to Wikipedia, I'll put in the Great Wall. It will take you to a link called the Great Beast of China. I forget the exact title. The film starts off really great. And then the second half starts sinking, and the third half just is monotonous. I lost track of it. I mean, Chinese mythology, monsters. Matt Damon was pretty cool. He wasn't, you know, he fit it right for the role. The third act just tanked. Basically, the queen takes over the village, and she has a whole nest protecting her. In the original Chinese mythology, there was like a bird with 6 heads. There were a bunch of other creatures. All you got is this boring kind of looking lion kind of thing with a little flap like a radar telling the queen tells the other monsters go to attack. It becomes monotonous over and over at the end. Luckily, the film was short, 90 minutes. It was fast-paced, but the movie just falls apart at the end. I give that a 2 out of 5. I was really more disappointed. It's not a bad movie. Think of it Netflix. No, excuse me. Think of a sci-fi channel with a budget.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. So that gives you an idea there. Okay. Let's go to Golden Globes. I'm going to switch it. I was going to leave that at the end, but let's go there because I saw La La Land. Okay. Ryan Gosling, Emma Stone, Golden Globes Award, the one for Best Picture. I love Damien Chazelle, the director, because I love what he did with Whiplash. Now, I grew up with musicals, Roger and Hammerstein. We used to do productions and everything like that. As far as working in the business, as far as acting and stuff like that, I'm a composer, musician. Ryan Gosling is a up-and-coming jazz artist trying to make it in the business. Emma Stone is a screenwriter, actress trying to make it in the business. I would say I like the movie for what it was. I would give it 3 out of 5. Nobody can relate to it. Unless you're in the business, you're not going to relate to it. Okay, you're a Star Wars fan, Star Trek, superheroes. You're gonna be bored out of this movie. Okay, yeah.
So you're saying the dialogue's not good?
No, the dialogue, directing, everything was good, but as far as the acting, let me go right into Fences. You cannot beat Viola Davis and Denzel Washington. They are the two that should have won the Golden Globes, and they're the ones that should be getting the Oscars. I had to put that out there, and I said this.
So I guess if you do more singing and dancing in a movie, you have a better chance.
Well, don't forget, Golden Globes, they got 2 categories. They got musical/comedy, and then they have drama.
Right.
Okay. Now, Casey Affleck won for Manchester and the Sea as far as dramatic.
Wow.
But I didn't see that as of yet. But a couple of friends told me and said, you're right about Denzel. Denzel should be getting it and not Casey Affleck. He's in like just one, oh, I'm such a loser, I burned the town to the ground. Oh, let me redemption. Let me redeem myself by taking care of my nephew. Yeah, you burned the town to the ground, little spoiler alert.
Yeah,
and,
take care of your own family member. That's really going to help everybody.
Well, there is a subplot. I found out that, well, I don't want to, there's a spoiler in there, but I don't want to say it.
I'll tell you the spoiler. Spoiler is his nephew's a dragon.
No.
That's how he burns down the town.
Legend, for people who've seen the movie know what I'm talking about. There's a whole subplot about redemption. I don't get it.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to say, let's say the butler did it. I have no problem with somebody telling me that the butler did it. How did he do it? I've been saying that for quite a few shows. So I found out what happened to Ben Affleck and why, not Ben Affleck, that's the other guy, Casey Affleck, why he's like that. And then the so-called redemption of him taking care of his nephew. No, sorry, doesn't cut it like that. Sorry. Anyway, again, Denzel should be getting it. And what's the other thing about Golden Globes, real quick? Okay, best action, best drama, best picture, all together. And I said this last week. I put up the blog, and just before Golden Globes, I managed to put a blog real quick on Sunday night, and I put my predictions. I had said Denzel, Viola Davis, best actor and actresses, best picture, best director, Hacksaw Ridge, and Mel Gibson. Okay, and I'm sticking to my guns. Those are the ones. Now, I don't have the complete list because I haven't seen Moonlight, I haven't seen Manchester, so I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt after see those movies. We're going to have a total recap before the Oscars nominations in 2 weeks. But I figure we get that out of the way. The other one would be Jeff Bridges, supporting actor for Hell or High Water. He didn't win. Somebody else won. One person who did win was Donald Glover for the TV show Atlanta. Never heard of it. And
I've heard of it.
And he's going to be the new Lando Calrissian. So, okay, so
if they can do a good, I think if they could do as good as Rogue One, we're going to continue to care. But if it doesn't do well, I guess that should probably be the end of these Lando films. Or what was it, Han Solo?
Han Solo. They're going to try. Well, we're going to get to Star Wars, so we're going to
do Han Solo. They're going to make it like Pirates of the Caribbean.
I mean, Disney's trying to do that.
What?
Yeah, but that's the whole thing. They want to do. They want to do all these prequels.
They want to do like a Jack Sparrow, Pirates of the Caribbean, Han Solo type series.
Exactly. That's what they're going after. Yep. Well, we're going to get more after that. And the Global Goals. Let me wrap that up. The one thing that everybody's pushing for is Deadpool. It did get nominated for the Golden Globe. Will get nominated for the Oscars. Again, we're going to continue this in 2 weeks because we got to get to the Star Wars stuff. So let's get right into the Star Wars stuff, okay? At Golden Globes, Carrie Fisher, Debbie Reynolds, a nice little tribute. Felicity Jones and Mexican dude, they handed out an award. So I forgot his name.
Oh, because he was in Rogue One?
Yeah, they were both in Rogue One. They're pushing that. Of course, Philly Jones, she's going to be hosting Saturday Night Live tonight. Okay.
Yeah, she's known for her humor.
Well, I don't know.
Comedy. She does great stand-up. You should see her in the cellar and what a Bottom Line, Dangerfields. Oh my God, she kills.
Really?
Yeah.
I forgot to mention one film. Florence Jenkins. You loved that film, didn't you?
Which one?
Florence Jenkins, Meryl Streep.
Oh my God.
You never got a chance to review it on the show.
I did. I said it was.
Oh, you did? Okay.
It was sort of like. Oh my God! It was.
You hated
trivial.
it.
It was trivial. It was a trivial film about a trivial person, and it was sort of like blowing smoke of a person backside. Someone who doesn't deserve it. You might as well have made a movie about what do you call that? Randolph Hearst's girlfriend, who was a famous singer, who was actually a good singer, but in the movie Citizen Kane, they made it sound like she was an awful singer.
Well, it's funny because I saw an old David Bowie interview, and he was talking about her. So, oh, she's fantastic because she sings so bad, you love to hate it, you know. And then flash forward, there was an interview about 5 years ago, and then they actually made a film out of that.
That was probably the beginning of what do you call it, hate watching.
It did happen. Okay. I also
it was trivial, and they gave her an award for that.
She got nominated.
Oh.
But then
I thought they gave her the award, the Golden Globe, because of that.
No, she got the Lifetime Achievement. That's one way of getting around it, you could say.
I thought that was one way of getting around with. Okay, you did great. You had a wonderful run. Now move on.
Yeah, go away.
Go away, no. Please. Give some other people a chance.
Okay, we're not even going to talk about her political speech, but anyway. So let me do this here real quick.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Not to brag, but we are still kind of surprised that we actually starting at 27 years. I just want to show you a couple of things. Here's a Snap magazine by J&R. Remember J&R, located in downtown New York City?
Yep. I hated their prices. Their merchandise was obsolete. You were getting things that were 1 year old and paying top dollar. I don't even know why people purchased at this place. The only thing they were good for was batteries and cassette tapes.
Well, first of all, they started going downhill with 9/11. Then they tried to recover, and then the internet just put them right out of business.
Good.
Okay, here's another one. But we're still on 27 years. Moving Pictures. This is a magazine that came out in 2005. His issue number 5 was Star Wars, and they closed shop 2012, unfortunately. This was really good inside business. Again, the internet killed the model business.
Yeah, because who's reading print media anymore?
Exactly.
It's obsolete.
But we still on 27 years. And Retro Gamer with the history of Star Wars on Nintendo. Does anyone remember this one playing? Nintendo? Yeah, the Nintendo 64. Playing these games were friggin' hard on Nintendo 64. The Empire Strikes Back. You had to do the all 4 controllers, the XYZ, just to somersault to. Pain in the ass.
I hated...
Empire was the hardest for me.
I was a Sega Genesis fan. I was never a Nintendo fan. Because for one thing, I think, like you say, the controller was always more complicated. The games were tough, and they were tough on purpose.
Yeah.
That's what probably ticked off a lot of people. Like, is this real gaming? It's impossible.
Yeah.
Some levels were made impossible because they were too lazy to write code. So it's like, oh, let's just do 4 levels and not even bother to write more code for a game that should really last more than an hour. We'll just frustrate people after like an hour because they can't get past level 2.
Yeah, and there was a lot of glitches in the games that never fixed. Like you have to XYZ that Luke would tumble to try to catch to a cliff, and all of a sudden he would just stay there mid-air. He couldn't even climb the cliff. And I mean, there's so many glitches. But
Nintendo's a rip-off.
Yeah, of course they came up with what's that new system, the Switch?
Yep.
Horrible. They should have stuck with the Wii. Anyway,
they're done. They're done.
Yeah, and a little backtrack, and just a quick story on this one.
They make a new Disney World, I heard. They're going to probably survive off of that.
Until
Disney buys them off.
Oh, well, China hates Disney, that's for sure. We're gonna get to that. What happened with Star Wars Rogue One? Anyway, Star Wars Jedi Making of a Saga. Yeah, that's right. VHS, another one I found in the collection.
Wow.
This never made it to any of the DVD collections. They did do one from from Empire Dreams or something like that. That was in the big master collection where they put all 6 films together, and they took a segment of this and put it onto the other. Variation of the greatest hits about Star Wars, the history of Star Wars. This itself was only an hour and 10 minutes, and it never made it to any of the DVD collections. And this one, I brought this when it was first came out because it was VHS. This I'm showing I got from a garbage can. Somebody threw this out. As soon as it got released, somebody threw it out. So
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, good taste.
That's why it's kind of like broken and stuff like that. VHS. Okay.
New technology.
That
was back in 2000.
Yeah, and you can get this like for $5. I mean, they can't get rid of this stuff. Coupons for discount. They had a little film still. Okay.
It's because stuff like this in the American market that's get flooded, and the people who mass produce this stuff, the American companies, won't let this stuff go because they don't want to perfect new technology. That's why we can't get a hoverboard. Dang it! We should have a hoverboard already. I can imagine how easy it would be to get a hoverboard, but they just probably are blocking the technology from coming about because they want us still to ride these obsolete vehicles that ride on gas-powered engines, bicycles, a terrible mass transit system. It's all garbage.
It's funny because what was that? Either Italy or France, or was it Germany? One of them European countries, they did come out with a flying car. It was one of the news channels, and unfortunately the thing cost like almost $1 million. But they perfected the technology where the car actually takes off the ground, just like Back to the Future.
Nice.
So they got it's kind of like a pre-model kind of thing. Yeah. So that is happening.
When you want to say, oh, this is the greatest city in the world, I'm sorry to knock New York because this is how it goes down. I mean, this city is really. Eventually, someone's going to look at this and say, wow, look at all this antiquated stuff you guys have here. It's like, wow, you still have VCRs? You still have physical media? Look at all this stuff, man. You guys are from the Stone Age.
Okay, well, the next thing over here. Now, let's get to Star Wars back to the box office. Okay, so we're going to end the show with that. Now, here's the funny thing is, which is kind of tricky. Rogue One is officially the biggest film of 2016, number 1. And Yeah. Now, all-time domestic box office. Um, Basically, it's we got Force Awakens, Avatar, Titanic, The Avengers. Unfortunately, Rogue One clocks in at number 7, and number 6 is Dark Knight. It needs $50 million more to beat the Dark Knight, to beat The Avengers at number 5.
Wow.
It's not going to make it. The picture's making about $1 million a day.
Beating Dory is tough.
It did beat Finding Dory.
It beat Finding Dory?
Yeah.
Nice.
Finally, it did beat Finding Dory. Remember, we could say if it could beat Finding Dory, then boom, it'd be like number 1 clincher. Finally, did it. I did put in the blog it was going to be number 1 next week. It took about another week to clear number 1. So that means there's no more repeats. So the film is slowing down.
Okay.
But
I
now,
saw it twice.
now what's happening is now all that matters about international box office. It barely cracked the top 40. It should have cracked the top 40, should have cracked the top 30, should have cracked the top 20. Right now it's at number 40 and it's official. India only made about a little bit over $1 million. Ooh, Japan. Japan only made $31 million and never premiered number 1. It was number 2 for 3 weeks in a row, and it's climbing down. And China, the big frapu, the big slap in the face, it only has made $32 million.
What's wrong? China not enough robots?
They found out Disney. Okay, remember last time we were saying they had the hired Donnie Yen who got paid $4 million. They wanted Jet Li, who wanted $10 million.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, he was first choice. I didn't know that. Jet Li was first choice. They made it Donnie Yen. Okay, $4 million. Okay,
that's fine.
The other Asian dude, who's also big in China, he's more of a writer, producer, director, very well known. That did not help the box office whatsoever. And that Indian guy, whatever, that didn't help. What they didn't Disney really screwed up as far as marketing. What they didn't figure out was that the original Star Wars trilogy, New Hope, Empire, Return of the Jedi, was never released in China. So everybody could not relate to this movie because they don't know the first trilogy. They found out, they did see Phantom Menace trilogy. That's a Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith, whatever.
Yeah, Phantom Menace, blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah.
Right, and China hated that franchise. They hated that trilogy. Yeah. And that's why Force Awakens all made just a little bit over $100 million. China is just rejecting. But Disney should have known better. Just because you hire Asian guys, I mean, what pisses me off is
do the research.
Yeah, do the
homework.
Yeah, exactly. Iron Man, number 3. It was supposed to be the Mandarin, a villain in the comic books. And they made the Mandarin an actor because they didn't want to offend the Chinese market, the Asian market, should I say. And China saying, oh, the Asian guy is a villain. We can't sell tickets in China. So let's make him an actor, you know? So, and what happened? It tanked in China anyway, you know? So
it was considered like one of the worst Iron Man films.
It's one of the worst superhero films as far as I'm concerned.
For all those people who say that Marvel doesn't do bad movies.
Iron Man 3 is horrible. Yeah. I gave that a 1 out of 5.
And Iron Man 2 is no better.
No, that's 2 out of 5. And Mickey Rourke was completely wasted. But anyway, so Rogue One, it tanked in China. That's why it hasn't. It's barely broken the 40 million mark.
Yeah. You have to do your homework. You have to research what markets you're going to, and those people have to know what the heck you're talking about.
Well, Disney screwed up. They thinking they know everything. Hey, let's hire a bunch of Asian guys, and that should take care of the box office problem. Asian. It doesn't work that way. Okay, so it serves them right. Okay, and then on top of that, what you call it? There is. Let's go a little bit behind the scenes. Now, where it's going to land in the top 40? We'll find out in 2 weeks, and then we'll have the final answer. But it's number 1, 2016. It's number 6 of all time. Number 7. Dark Knight is number 6. Okay, so that takes care of the U.S. market. In 2 weeks, we'll find out what's going to be the final number for international. Even if it breaks the billion-dollar mark, it'll still only wind up in the top 30. So, no top 20 for Rogue One. So, it's basically over. But now, just a little quick snippet. There was talk about the director's cut. Now, this book is written according to the final script. But 5 minutes before the show, I showed him page 200. I said this on my radio show, so let's do that again. On page 299, going into page 300, it talks about she's walking the plank, and the TIE fighter shows up and shoots at her, right? Apparently, that was the last scene that was taken out of the movie, because he wrote the book according to the script that was showed up. So apparently, that scene was still left in, and that's why he went to write the book, should I say? And so that scene is in the book, believe it or not. And when we finally got to see the film, that scene was taken out. They also mentioned it was in the Hollywood Reporter and a couple other magazines this past weekend. As a matter of fact, it was written this morning. All the Darth Vader scenes were the actual extra scenes that were filmed. The first 2 trailers that you saw, remember we were talking about, well, how come they're showing so many trailers, right? The first 2 trailers, that's all the scenes that were taken out of the movie. That's why they kept on coming out with more trailers and more trailers, because what they were doing slowly, eliminating those first two, the first 2 trailers that were like a minute and a half each. They were taking those scenes out and putting all the new scenes in.
Right.
So,
because if you see in some of the scenes, sometimes it doesn't even make sense, like what they showed you in a movie as a trailer and what actually came out in the film. Because in one scene, they capture the rebels save her from the Empire. She's brought to them. She's asked a bunch of questions, and she never says the line that they show in the trailer. What do you expect to do? He says, well, it's a rebellion. I was rebelling.
again,
in the movie, she doesn't want anything to do with the rebellion.
Exactly. Okay, now, I started talking about this on the radio show. Now, supposedly there's a director's cut. And Disney's saying, no way, it's not going to happen. Lucas said the same thing about the special edition. Here's a special edition. Han Solo talks to Jabba the Hutt. And because I did all the special effects in the original negatives, there's not going to be, we're never going to show the original negatives of the original Star Wars trilogy. And then the last show I did, I had the actual DVD. You had the new special edition, and you had the original master. Okay? Now, I also said last week, 20th Century Fox actually still owns Star Wars, A New Hope. Disney owns everything else. But 20th Century Fox still retains the rights. They're going to go ahead with a 4K version.
Nice.
Okay?
Maybe it'll come on in China.
Too late. Now, is it going to be this?
We got 10 seconds till we go to YouTube.
Okay, we're going to be talking more about this, and we'll be back in 2 weeks. For you YouTube fans, we're going to continue the show, and it will be posted on our YouTube site. Okay, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in 2 weeks, everybody. Okay.
Well, this is for YouTube now.
Now, YouTube. So, second half of the show. Well,
Hello, YouTube fans.
Yes, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.
This is a special thing. What happened basically was we usually were being kicked out at 5:30, okay? Because somebody else, another producer, will come in at 6 o'clock and do a show. So what happened with that? Well, they stopped showing up and said, well, until the show, keep going. Then said, and thanks to Mark, his brilliant idea said, why not take this other half, since you're recording it, and slap it on YouTube as a special for the fans. So.
For the YouTube fans.
So there you go, guys. So that's how that happened. So I was continuing with the producer's cut. I keep saying producer's cut. Well, producer's cut, director's cut. Disney said, no way, it's not going to happen. George Lucas said the same thing. Okay. So what happened? Disney is saying that right now because they want everybody to go see this movie over and over again. Now, this happened with Superman 2. And the fans said, we want to see the Richard Donner cut. Everybody knows Richard Donner did the first movie. Actually, Superman 1 and 2 was filmed back to back. Now, here's a little Star Wars connection. Here's a little trivia. During Superman 1 and 2, Christopher Reeve was being trained to be Superman, getting all buffed up. You know who trained him was? That's right, David Prowse, who was the original Darth Vader. Of course, everybody knows James Earl Jones did the voice of Darth Vader, but the guy who was in the costume, like 7 feet tall, was David Prowse. And David Prowse was the one who trained Christopher Reeve. Okay, so a little Star Wars connection. And the reason for that is because Superman 1 2 was filmed over in London, in England. Okay, and so was Star Wars, the original Star Wars, New Hope. Anyway, let me look at my note here. What's the thing? Oh, and so for the special edition, Richard Donner was in the middle of number 2, and he got fired. And Richard Lester, who was his second right-hand man, second unit director, he took over. Okay, and because of that, Marlon Brando's scenes were never shown in the second movie. It was that instead it was Susanna York as the mother telling Superman, well, you know, you want to become human because you're in love with Lois Lane, blah, 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 blah. So fans wrote in, where is that other version, the one that Richard Donner did? And the Richard Donner version came out on DVD. It's available like Best Buy for $8.99. And you see Marlon Brando talking to Superman Christopher Reeve. And you see the Richard Donner cut, which was supervised by Stuart Bird. Okay, Stuart Bird directed a couple films. What was it? Well, he's a well-known editor for the past 30 years. Die Hard films, the Lethal Weapon films. He directed Star Trek Nemesis plus 2 other films. Anyway, so he was a supervising editor. That means that even though there was people actually editing the film, he will oversee the project. Flash forward, Tony Gilroy got hired to do the reshoots, to write and film additional scenes, and he hired his brother. Tony Gilroy hired his brother, forgot his name, Scott Gilroy, I believe. Sorry about that. But he hired his brother to edit. But Stuart Bard from Superman was supervising the editing. That where the rumors started is maybe we will see a director's cut. Disney is not saying no, it would never happen. The thing is,
right.
Yeah, exactly. They're gonna milk
It's
it.
always about this.
Exactly. It will happen down the line. They just want to make sure it gets released on DVD, Blu-ray, it gets on Netflix, it will premiere on ABC because Disney owns ABC. And then eventually, maybe about 5 years from now, you're going to see a director's cut. There's over a half an hour of footage. And there's no telling me, oh, maybe we'll put a deleted scenes. They're going to have an angle. So don't listen to these guys, okay? There will be eventually a director's cut. And the fans will demand it like they did with Superman 2. That's the other trivia. Now, next thing, Carrie Fisher. Article was posted in Hollywood Reporter. I'm going to make a new blog probably Monday just in time for YouTube to be the show to be posted on YouTube by Monday, along with the blog and a new radio show. And the article stated what's going to happen with Carrie Fisher in episode 9. They nixed it. They're not going to do the CG.
Oh, good. I think that's better.
So what do you think? That CG thing, did it bother you?
I don't think so.
With Peter Cushing?
There's some people who couldn't even tell the difference. Of course, we could have told because we know that he's dead. We sort of look for imperfections. You know, the smart fan, they look for the imperfections. Sort of like the person who reads all the blogs, the person who reads all the magazines, the person who talks to everybody else who goes to conventions. Those are us. We're like almost the smart movie watching people. But I heard the regular people who watched it couldn't even tell.
Oh, okay.
Couldn't even tell. So to them it was not a problem. I don't think it was a problem. To me, Carrie Fisher didn't look any different.
Right.
I thought it looked great, but it would have been great if they would have realized, hey, you know, this is Carrie Fisher. We don't know how long she has to last. You know, if you read her history, her books, her problems with addiction, eventually she's gonna, you know, her life's gonna end. So they should have. It would have been great had they had her. Probably what was it? What they're doing? They have episode 8, right?
She right. Episode in the can.
Great if she would have had a great death in episode 8. That would have been great. There's all these shows you could always tell that someone's going to die, and they should have a great death aligned for them there, and they never do it. Sort of like in Sopranos, when you saw that Tony Soprano's mom wasn't doing too well, you said to yourself, "Oh my God, she's going to be dead pretty soon. They should kill her off now. They should stop trying to wait till she dies and then CGI her." Well, and then they waited till she died and then they CGI'd her and it looked horrible.
So why does that happen? Very simple. The insurance companies. If they know somebody is sick, then the insurance company comes in and they will charge them extra fees. Also replace them, and then it's a whole money thing, and that's why they always try to keep the actors' health undercover because they don't want the insurance companies to get involved. Because then it will raise the rates, and it will charge them more.
If you know a person's gonna,
let me
tell everybody, but it's sort of like you know that person isn't doing well health-wise.
Well, a couple years ago, the Monkees, a popular band from the '60s, they reunited, and Davy Jones, he was the cute-looking guy, the mop top. Okay, right. He was the girl's favorite out of the band, right? Health nut. Vegetarian, extreme health diet, exercising, name it. Jogging in the morning, 5 hours in the morning. All of a sudden, running, boom, killed over. Massive heart attack. He was out in 5 seconds. 62 years old. Perfect shape. Who knew?
Well,
Well, see, I mean, as I
Well,
predictable,
some
Carrie
people-
Fisher was do a lot of
Well,
stress.
like some people are predictable, like Davy Jones. But people like Carrie Fisher, you can tell. People you see along the lines like, hey, this person like the cast of the Golden Girls. Who would have known the person who outlived all of them was the one who played the mother?
Yeah, and she was like the oldest.
Yeah. Well, she outlasted most of the cast, and then she eventually died. She was the youngest, and Betty White outlasted the whole cast.
Yeah, right. Betty White, right.
Sorry.
Uh huh.
If you see it, and Davy Jones, even though no matter how hard he worked, you can sort of tell that he looked kind of frail. That he was what 5'5" or something like that, or
Right.
maybe 5 feet. Do you know? You can
So,
tell.
so what are you going to do with Harrison Ford? He's 70, he's almost he's 75 years old.
Pretty soon, you should know if you're going to be working with Harrison Ford, they're going to keel over. We're going to keep shoving him in Indiana Jones.
Yeah, that's what
dies.
that's what they plan to do. They're going to do another Indiana Jones
And then
film.
when he dies, you'll CGI him in all the films, and then just do a Indiana Jones cartoon series.
I think they already did that. That tanked. Oh, by the way, talk about CG, and this I didn't realize. The last Avenger movie, 2.0,
Captain America.
Civil War.
Yes.
There was a scene where you see a very young Robert Downey Jr.
Yes.
Okay, that was a CG effect. Believe it or not, they hired a very young actor who looked almost like Robert Downey Jr. and then CGI'd him. But nobody said anything about that. Nobody complained.
No.
Right?
You could tell. We knew that wasn't him when he was younger, because you could say, "Hey."
But but nobody made us think about it.
No.
General Tarkov, and in the meantime, is he doesn't look right. His lips are, okay. So maybe he looks like an image out of a video game. But doesn't everybody play video games? I mean, what's the risk?
Only the smart fan could tell. They said everyone else who didn't know who this guy was couldn't tell.
Right.
And there's a lot of young fans who didn't even see, like Star Wars. What was it? 3, 4, and 5.
There's
a lot of people. I've told millennials. A lot of millennials. You tell them watch these films, and they will not. It's old.
Yeah. Well, you're talking about China. China didn't see them.
Yeah, well, okay.
Then Princess Leia at the very end, she was done by another actress. Mm-hmm. It doesn't bother me because it's almost like a variation of video games. But no, it's a film. It doesn't look realistic. It's a freaking science fiction film, and it placed a long time ago. Well, because of that, now they're going to find a way of trying to replace Carrie Fisher in number 9, or just write her death off screen. She was on a mission, and her ship got blown up.
It's crazy. It's like you knew she was going to die. It would have been better if you just gave
Well,
her
they really don't. Believe it or not, found out that she did a health thing because she was doing a show in England, and she passed health results. Don't forget, anytime you got to do a show, or same thing with musicians, when they go on tour, you got to see a doctor to get okay that you're fit. What happened with Carrie Fisher, she was under a lot of stress because she was involved in this court lawsuit. She rented this bungalow to a woman who was under care from this doctor who she happened to know. And the family, she passed away, okay? I forgot what it was. And then the parents of the daughter went to sue the doctor, but they also sued Carrie Fisher because she said, well, she rented out the place for my daughter, so she should have been realizing if my daughter was not fine, whatever. She got involved in a lawsuit, guilty by association.
Yeah.
Okay, so she was under a lot of stress.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. No matter how healthy you are, usually it's your heart that gives way.
You just don't know.
And if you abuse your heart for as long as you have, you should know. After a certain point, like when someone's reaching 70 years old or whatever, you pretty much know, hey, this guy's not going to do too well. I don't know how many sequels we're going to get. Like Harry Potter. Dumbledore passes on, and all of a sudden have to replace him.
Right. The
person who plays Dumbledore.
You can't tell. Look at Mel Brooks. Mel Brooks is almost 90 years old. Mm-hmm. He got a Medal of Honor, I think back in November, a Lifetime Achievement Award, and he still wants to write and direct. So, who's to say, though?
If he wants to still write and direct, he can. But I'm saying there's certain people who you can kind of tell, hey, this person, according to books and everything, their history, even Harrison Ford. I mean, I wouldn't keep making him run out there, run all over the place.
Well,
This is my opinion.
well, me personally, him doing Indiana Jones is kind of that is a stretch.
They're gonna pretty much try to off this guy, I think.
The
I want
high,
to see him die in mid-production.
just hire Chris Pratt as the next Indiana Jones and write it
If they
off.
wanna
That's all.
hire him, just Chris Pratt. You know, it would be great. Take that other video game, Uncharted, which is sort of like a rip-off Indiana Jones, and do the Uncharted franchise, and then you don't have to worry about stepping on anyone's toes. Oh, you're stepping on the Indiana Jones. No, do something else. Do Uncharted. There's so many other type of Indiana Jones films out there, like Tomb Raider, Uncharted. Do your own.
Well, it's funny. Everybody complains about Indiana Jones. Oh, you know, you can't replace Harrison Ford. Indiana Jones was based on James Bond, believe it or not. Okay, because George Lucas, what was it? George Lucas, he wanted to do Flash Gordon. They didn't give him rights, so he created Star Wars. Steven Spielberg, at that time, was in talks to do For Your Eyes Only with Roger Moore. And then, you know, he wanted to do the film, and it said, I don't know, well, you're gonna have a little E.T. as Blofeld.
Wow.
They laughed at him. You know, before
No respect.
no respect before he got the Oscar for Schindler's List. So George Lucas told him, same way Steven Spielberg told George Lucas, listen, forget about Flash Gordon. They had some a star thing going on. And yeah, it's Luke Starkiller. Well, make that into your film and change the name, Skywalker. So Lucas turned around and told Spielberg, listen, forget about the James Bond. I have an idea. Let's make him a guy who digs up treasure and stuff like that. And let's call him Indiana Jones. And that's how that project got started. Okay? So who's to say that Indiana Jones cannot be some other actor? They did it with James Bond.
Well, but
5,
I'm
6
saying,
different
if
actors.
you feel they're going to step someone's toes, I'm just saying, do another franchise. You could do, like I said, you can do the Uncharted series.
Disney don't want to hear it. Disney spent so much money, they don't want to do it because
Yeah,
Disney
but
spent so much
forget-
money and that character Indiana Jones. They want that franchise off the ground.
Yeah, but I'm saying, for whoever wants to make money, get Uncharted. Forget about these other video game movies that you made that aren't too good. Do the Uncharted reboot, and then you could show Disney, hey, you can make more money if you would have just rebooted a different series instead of dragging a series that was great and dragging it through the mud till nobody respects it.
Well, nobody respects it since the last movie. What was it? The Crystal Skull? Oh, Crystal crap. God, that was friggin' horrible.
I knew it was bad when as soon as I heard who they're going to put in and having the villains at the Russians, it was like, oh, this is ridiculous. I've always thought that, look, if you keep dragging the Germans as the arch enemy,
Yeah, over and over
this has
again.
been done over and over. Get over it. I mean, don't get over it. But I'm saying we can't keep picking on them as the villains. All right, this is ridiculous.
I've been there and done it.
Yeah, it's been done to death.
And the other one, Aliens from Another Dimension. Oh, Lord Jesus. So all of a sudden, they went sci-fi. Forget about it. What's the last topic we want to pick up? Okay, talk about special effects, Oscars. Okay, this article was also posted this morning on Hollywood Reporter, talking about they had a big conference where a lot of producers of special effects films from this year, including Civil War, Rogue One, and Fantastic Beasts. Anyway, one of the producers said, listen, don't nominate a great picture with the special effects. Nominate the special effects that comes from a great picture. And the reason for that was everybody pointed the finger, and I complained about this last time about Oscar predictions. And I said, okay, Star Wars should get it for Force Awakens, whether you like the movie or not. But they picked, it was Oscar nominated. So what the hell is this film doing here? It was Ex Machina. And that's why they said, listen, don't pick a great movie with okay special effects. You get confused. Pick the movie because of the special effects, not because of the story. Apparently people loved the movie, and that's why it won for special effects. And the special effects was no big deal.
Oh.
Okay, so it's a big article. Again, I'm going to post that on the new blog coming this week, so you can read about it. And Ex Machina, again, that's another movie that made my top 10 worst. It was awful. But anyway.
There was no Star Wars.
Nah, it was friggin' boring. Okay, so that article came out, and so they're finding who's gonna who's going to make the top 10 list as far as special effects for the Oscars? Okay, let's see. Any thing wrap up? Basically, we covered a lot.
Well, yeah. The only one I'm looking forward to seeing for the coming year, we could always say that. Have we said that already? I was
going to say that for the next show, but I know you got a couple that you're looking forward to.
Yeah, Ghost in the Machine.
She's miscast. Sorry, I'm not buying into it.
She might be miscast, but I think the whole special effects look, because like they said, look at what they're going to do with. They said they were going to do with Keanu Reeves, Akira, the movie, an anime movie like Akira. They're going to remake that with Keanu Reeves. So I'm just saying, this is successful.
I can see that.
Boom.
Well, Ghost in the Shell was already redone. It was already done. It was called The Matrix. Talk to any hardcore fan, and they would say the same thing. The Matrix was a complete ripoff of Ghost in the Shell.
Okay, then hopefully when you see it done well.
Well, I like Scarlett Johansson, but miscast. Sorry. They can't find any beautiful.
Have a robot?
She can be a robot, but they can't find any attractive, gorgeous-looking Asian who can act. Yes, go to Japan and China. There's a whole bunch of them. Why go Scarlett Johansson? Because they want to keep it. Again, Disney didn't learn, let's hire Asian actors for the Star Wars movie so we can be a big hit in China. That totally backfired in their face. They went right backslap in their face. So Johansson, well, we can't hire an Asian because then we're gonna, we're gonna push away the European crowds and we're gonna push away the American crowds. Well, that kind of instinct. Well, guess what? It's gonna backfire.
Oh well, it just needs it. Someone has to get
racist.
Maybe hey, be careful with Disney. They're very powerful. It probably just means they need a better research division.
Good luck. Hollywood does not want to learn. What Hollywood has become is all about marketing, branding, and franchising at all costs. Forget about film.
About making money.
About making money. That's the bottom line, so they can make more prequels and sequels and other garbage.
If you want to make money, you still have to do your research. I mean, you just can't go in and say, "Hey, we'll make money like they do in Wall Street." We'll inflate, we'll lie, we'll pretend. In the real world, you can't do that too often. You can make bubbles, but they will burst.
Sooner or later, will burst. But let me tell you, a lot of those people working Wall Street, what do you think they work now? They work in the movie industry with that same philosophy, mentality.
Lie, cheat, steal, create fake, make a bubble, create pyramid schemes.
Basically, it's all about making money. Forget about being creative. And that's why a lot of the talent has gone over to Netflix, Amazon, and Hulu. Okay? And pretty soon, don't be surprised if you see Meryl Streep on one of those cable channels.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Eventually, it will come. It's going to come down to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where the good stuff's coming from.
Well, actually, that's where all the talent is going over there.
Yeah, television. I'm sorry, it's sad. It's not doing well. Even though you need commercials to pay for this, a lot of it just kills the action, and it's misplaced. That's why streaming is the best. You can stream a whole bunch of shows, and boom, get a good chunk of understanding. It's sort of like my biggest problem is like the HBO type shows or the ANC type shows. Yeah, it was ANC. Yeah. The Walking Dead. It takes forever to build, and as they're building to crescendo, boom! Wait till next season.
Yeah.
I'm like, forget you. You made me waste a whole watching 6 episodes of you slowly moving towards something that I wanted to watch, and boom, you break it off there. That's why you're dying.
Walking Dead, they got to get rid of this guy. This what's his name? Negan with the baseball bat.
Yes.
He's getting annoying, and the audience are feeling it. The audience is like, can we go back to the zombies instead of this guy with a baseball bat? And the ratings have started slipping.
Well, I've heard a lot of people have left that show for a long time because they were so disappointed. They did this huge build-up to awesome characters, and then they wasted the whole end of the show to do it, and people just started figuring out, hey, yeah, I'm just being dragged by my short hairs. They're just piecemealing the show, and I can't take it anymore. this is just not enjoyable. I might as well watch a show that I can stream the whole season in less than a couple of weeks.
They're milking, and also they killed off some of the best characters in the last year. That was a dumb move. When Negan killed two of the favorite characters, and people say, "Well, what the hell am I watching this show for?" You kill off your favorite actors. Not a good move, But anyway, okay. Well, this was going to happen in 2 weeks. We're going to start picking the films that we're going to be looking forward to. We're going to have an Oscar rewrap. Couple films. I know I'm going to be checking out. Hidden Figures? The three black girls who helped with the NASA program. I know I'm going to be checking out Blacklight, and I'll be checking out Manchester.
I'm surprised they haven't talked about von Braun, the Nazi they caught to actually build the what do you call it, NASA project. I'm surprised they even haven't mentioned that. When we see that movie, that's probably something they don't want to talk about.
But maybe they can't sell that concept.
Yeah, exactly.
They can't market it as a franchise or brand it.
You can't market your favorite Nazi running the NASA program.
Yeah. Okay. So those films we're going to review next, and then we do a whole Oscar wrap up, and then the next episode we're going to have that, including the movies we're going to be looking forward to. Prediction. We wrote of was it Underworld? I wrote of Resident Evil,
yeah.
And good luck with Vin Diesel and Triple X, a film nobody was asking for, and you wait 15 years later.
Fast and Furious. I don't think anyone was. We thought it was over, and it's come back.
Well, yeah. Well, Fast and the Furious number 8. No, what was it? The Fate of the Furious.
Oh.
That's gonna do good though.
The Fate of the Furious.
Yeah, that's gonna do good. I'm talking.
Turns.
Yeah, that's gonna do
Really?
good. Yeah. Well,
Not as
I
good
mean,
as with Paul Walker, I don't think. CG Paul Walker.
No. Well, this time Submarine comes out. They all of a sudden it turned into like a James Bond movie. I'm kind of curious where the franchise is gonna go. But I'm talking about Triple X.
Maybe next episode of Fast and Furious they go to space.
No, Machete did that. He beat him to it.
No, but I'm saying everybody ends up going to space eventually.
Fast and the Furious in outer space. Why not? Well, I mean, what else?
Everybody eventually.
Where else are they going to take
goes
this?
To space. What do you call that?
Friday the 13th, they went into outer space.
They went to space.
The Leprechaun. Remember the Leprechaun series? Yeah, Leprechaun went into outer space.
Everybody goes to space.
Machete, yeah.
What was that? Medea is going to go to space.
Right.
Medea's going to go to space. Vern's going to went to space.
No, he went to space, right?
Right, Vern went to space.
Right, Vern.
They said a lot of shows follow Vern's trajectory. Halloween, prison, space.
There you go. But anyway, Triple X with Vin Diesel, I think that's going to tank. So he needs the best view.
Triple X in space.
Yeah, Triple X in space. Well, that's going to be the wrap up. So Oscars and with the films we're going to be looking for in 2017, and then the final box office count on Rogue One. And everybody, that's a wrap for the show. Thanks for tuning in. And thank you for watching YouTube. Thank you for subscribing. And
here we do our freeze frame.
There we go.
All right.
And we
Mark with you.
And we out of here.
Adios.